Hello there, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to give a small introduction on ABP React Template. This is a new open source project I just started and it's almost ready. So there are a few rough edges, but if you are creating a simple application with open source ABP application as a backend, I think this can be a really good choice. It is designed to be a drop-in replacement for the Angular UI. Yeah, so let's see what's available. So the first thing to notice is that this application is going to only work with the open source version of the APP, so keep that in mind. And the technology used is not pure React. I'm using a meta framework called Next.js. So if you are familiar with React, I'm pretty sure you know Next.js. And I don't think you need to, or I need to explain Tailwind, I guess. So most people know Tailwind by now. Yeah, so why I am doing this? What is the need for the React template? So I've been using ABP since 2018. So every time I try to change the UI, it's usually not very simple or straightforward. And my use case is that I am creating consumer-facing applications. It's not a back office application, so I wanted something very lightweight, and fast. I'm not saying ABP is not fast; it is fast, but I wanted to have something a little bit better. At that time, my team was using React, so we were building an app in Next.js and my APIs in ABP. So I kind of had my own small Next.js application working with ABP. So this is an attempt to make that internal product open source project. And I have made some decisions which are very personal. I will explain those things. So yeah, so why am I doing this? Because I have a use case where I have to use React application with Tailwind, and yeah, basically just open sourcing it so that other people might find it useful. I don't think you need to. I don't think I need to talk about ABP or Next.js. Yeah, in case if you don't know, just go and see the links. I will put the blog post in the description. So the first thing is you need Node.js and then the PNPM. So usually people use Yarn and NPM, which is pretty common. There is this new package manager called PNPM. What it basically does, it installs all the packages globally so that you save some space. And it's pretty fast. So I started playing around with it, liked it, so I just started using it. And you need an API, which is running on ABP framework. I am using my ABP template, which is hosted on abp.andasubash.com. This is just the API, it doesn't have any UI. And I packaged everything as a .NET template so that you can just easily get started and then get it working. So the best case scenario is if you're building a customer-facing application, you want that simple landing page. Most of the time it's static, and there are some other pages like top 10 products which are not so static, but it can be static for limited amount of time. So Next.js provides this server-side rendering, client-side rendering, and incremental rendering. So you can decide how each page is rendered, unless otherwise if you go to MVC, which is the default UI framework, you practically have to render everything from the server. So Next.js provides this hybrid approach. It can work for you, it might not work for you. Yeah, it's up to you to decide. Yeah, I have the demo application here, so it just works, and you can theme. So when you create a new application, all this comes by default because I needed a themable starter page. Yeah, so if you come and look at it here, you have all the basic applications running. So where is the source code? Source code is available in this GitHub repos. So ABP React, and yeah, it basically has all the information you need. And I am working on the docs Right now, the docs has a very simple introduction. Yeah, it depends on whether people find it useful or not. I will try to add more docs. If you find it useful, come and give a star, I guess, so that it helps the project to get more visibility. And so these are the key technologies. Next.js, I have already mentioned, Tailwind CSS for the CSS, and then TypeScript. So the entire project is written in TypeScript instead of JavaScript, which is also a possibility, but I just thought TypeScript because it's so much better than JavaScript. And the CSS framework is Lazy UI. Why? Because Tailwind by default provides just two themes, and also it's just a CSS framework. If you need components, or if you need more than what Tailwind provide, you need additional things. So that's why I started using Daisy. And then the Radix UI is, if you don't know Radix UI, it's a headless primitives of almost all the components you need. It's very, very accessibility friendly. So each and every component is designed for accessibility purposes. So you can style them however you want. Basically, everything is unstyled. So it doesn't provide any constraints. So one of the main things I hated with the ABP UI is everything is tied to Bootstrap. I hated working with Bootstrap because customizing Bootstrap is not that easy for me because I'm not a CSS person and I don't have a UI guy working for me. But with Tailwind, I can buy something like Tailwind UI. I can go here. I can have a lot of components, which are like extremely good looking components. And I can just copy these components and they are available in React. I can just copy this code and then I will get a really good looking UI. So you can easily put together components and then create a really good looking UI very easily. So that is the goal, to create a UI template for ABP, which is extremely customizable. And I think I checked all the boxes. And these are all the main features I was looking for. Yeah, and again, themability, responsive design, localization, almost everything is achieved. Only multi-tenancy is pending. Yeah, I'm looking at a bunch of approaches, but let's see how that goes. And yeah, these are the goals for the project. Provide a starter template with React. It's easy to use and extend. You can extend pretty easily. I have packages. I have created everything as packages, so you can easily add new features. And every part of this UI is customizable. So that is one of the important factors of this UI. Everything is customizable. And it's easy to customize everything when you create a new project. Everything comes with it, so there is nothing hidden from you. So you don't have to add additional packages. You can just customize the components however you want and then start using. So I want to mention a special thanks to Sajan. He helped me to push through the final changes because I started this project last year and then left it. I was able to finish all the things because Sajan helped me out. So thanks a lot, Sajan. So yeah, let's see how to get started and create a simple React application with ABP, shall we? So if you go to the introduction, so where is the document? So if you come to the ABP React repo, you have a link here which brings you to the ABP React documentation. Just click Get Started. You will come here. So this is the .NET template. So just go and install the .NET template. Yes. So this is the name which you're going to use. So this is how you create your project. So this is the name for your project. I will provide a name which I usually provide called Tasky. And keep this in mind, this will be the main name in the packages you create. So make sure you give a proper name here. So when I say enter, this will create a folder here, and then you can cd into Tasky and then open in VS Code. So once you open, there are a bunch of things here. So the first thing to notice is it's using turborepo. Turborepo is a monorepo. If you don't know monorepo, just go and check out turbo.build. So yeah, this is what we are using. The build system for which is quite good in my opinion, because if I want to manage a lot of packages like I have, and if I plan to create multiple apps, this is the setup I prefer. So why not have a simple application? So the idea is that let's say you are starting a ABP application. This is not going to be the only application you will have. So you will have a back office application, you will have a public website. So and you can also build other applications. So the apps folder is where you host all your applications, and it can support multiple applications here. And the packages is where you just create your UI, create your hooks, and then create your proxies. So this is where you share code as packages. If you're coming from the .NET world, we create projects. In the JavaScript world, they create packages. Yeah, so we have a bunch of packages, and then we have one application, but technically you can add multiple application. And then here I have a Next.js application, but you can come and also add a Vue application. You can come and add a Remix application. So yeah, it's up to you. And we have packages which we can share between all the applications. So if you open the package.json, you have a bunch of commands here. I would recommend you open the terminal and do pnpm.i. So pnpm.i would install all the packages. It might take some time initially, but you can see that I'm not downloading anything. I'm just adding anything. That means we have already downloaded all the packages and it's available in the cache. It's not going to take forever. It will be done pretty quick. But you have to make sure you have all the packages available first. So if you install the pnpm just right now, it can take some time. Okay, so we have our packages installed. Now let's do pnpm dev. So it's doing a bunch of things, and technically we should not be able to run because we didn't have any environment variables. So first I want to show you what will be the error message. So if I go to localhost 3000, see, you will have a server error because we didn't configure the environment. I just want to show this so that you guys know, not just run and expect things to work, because there are some configurations which are essential. So what are these configurations? So first thing is the base URL. So if you think of it, this is the API URL I'm using. So first copy this, and it's available in a bunch of places. In my application, the API is this api.underspash.com. So I will replace your api.com with abp.underspash.com. So that's one thing which is fixed. And this is the next.url, next have public URL, next secret. All these other things are correct. So what we have to do is we need to create the .env file. And once you create the .env file, these variables are attached to the application. And now if you run the pnp dev, we have our application running. So let's see if we can change the themes. Perfect. I personally like Cupcake, so let's keep it at Cupcake. And we still have an error. What is the error right now? So we have a client ID which is required. Where is the client ID mentioned? It's in this auth-utils, and we need to mention the client ID. So let's go and mention the client ID. I think this is a bug which I should have fixed. I will probably fix it. It's launched again. Let's try the second time. Okay, it seems like I gave the wrong client ID. So the correct client ID is ABP React Next app. Let's refresh and then try to log in again. Yeah, it logged in automatically. So problem is that probably I have already logged in. I will try to log out and log in again. Yeah, Yes. So you have a admin page, which has roles, users, and then tenant, and then settings. And if you go to users, you can easily change permissions. All the permissions are available. And yeah, so basically anything you can do in the default Angular application, you can do it here. And the Angular application is only client-side render, but in the React application, you can do server-side rendering and also incremental rendering and static pages as well. So, and also, of course, you can do the same thing you do in Angular, which is client-side rendering. And you can also theme it. You can customize all the things you want. So how are you going to customize it? So the first thing to note is that the pages are here. So you just go and change the pages. That's it. And yeah, the components are coming from here, which is tasky.ui, which is a package which is here. But it seems like my TypeScript server just crashed. Let's restart the TypeScript server. And you come to the packages. You have hooks, and this is the UI package. And you can see all the UI is properly done and exported to the main application. So if you come to the dist folder, you will see all the JavaScript chunks and also the TS files. So you can just publish this into an NPM registry, whether it's a private or public registry, it's up to you. It properly comes with the name at your product name or project name with /UI. Yeah, you can just version it, publish it, do all the things you want. It's up to you. And yeah, the hooks is the primary way where how we connect to the ABP application. And I have created custom hooks for all the API calls. And the proxy is where all the TypeScript types for the ABP is available. And again, this comes as a package as well. So let's say you do some custom application development and then you added new API endpoints and new DTOs. These things will not be available in the proxy because I only have the default ones. At that point, you have to come and then generate the API. So how would you generate the API? You just come to the root directory and then say pnpm gen-API. So this will call the OpenAPI CLI tool and then goes to your swagger.json and then puts the proxy, puts the newly generated API endpoints and all the types in the packages. So yeah, so all these are correctly, properly generated. So every time you add a new endpoint, you just have to come and do this, and you are kind of ready to go. You can just come and then open the pages here and start adding new pages here. If you are familiar with Next.js and React, these things look familiar, I guess. But if you are new to React, these can be tempting. So I'm planning to do small series on how to develop an application using ABP React. Yeah, so if you think it will help, make sure to comment on this video. Let me know what you think about this architecture, and yeah, if I should make things simpler, if you think like, okay, this is too complex, there are too many packages, very hard to get started, let me know, because I'm not sure whether I should just create a very simple React application and hide all these complexities away from you, or just give everything with all the source so that someone who is familiar can modify extremely up to the point. So if you want to modify a button and how it looks, you can actually come and then open the shared and then click a button here, and then you can just go and modify each and every concept or a button, and then it's everything is designed headlessly with customization in mind. So that is why I went with this architecture. So if you think like, hey, something so simpler would be easier, yeah, let me know. It's an open source project. If you can send a PR with a new feature, I'm also happy to review it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Yeah, let me know what you think, and then if you like the project, give it a thumbs up for the video, and also check out the repo and give a star. And if you like the content, subscribe, and see you soon, I guess. Bye bye.